Hi everyone, I'm Salma and I'm so happy to see you all. I hope you'll join me. In this episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You know, when I first started teaching English in Egypt many years ago, I had a group of students, and some of them would translate everything I'd ask a question and they'd translate it into Arabic to make sure they understood, then answer in Arabic, and finally translate their answer word for word into English. It looked something like this. Do you like classical music, Mohammed? Thinking in Arabic, i.e. in English, when no, it doesn't appeal to me, where do I start? At first, I tried correcting their mistakes, but it didn't help much. I realized we needed to talk about translation itself, how to stop translating, so we had a conversation about translation, about breaking the habit, and eventually it worked. These were beginner-level students, but over time they changed and let go of that habit. So how can you tackle this translation habit? Well, in this video, I'll share some simple ideas on how to address the translation tendency you might have, even if it's not as strong as some. I'll cover tips for complete beginners as well as more advanced learners. Then, in the second half of the video, I'll show you the different ways we think and how you can use them to start thinking in English. And finally, stay until the end because I have a bonus for you. I'll give you some practical advice on how to build the habit of thinking in English now once and for all. Sounds good. Let's get started. Part 1. How to tackle the translation habit. First, let's clarify translation isn't always bad. It gets a bad rap, but sometimes it's useful. The problem is when you translate all the time and do it word for word. That just doesn't work. So here are 5 things you can do to tackle the translation habit. 1. Learn and practice chunks or phrases, not just single words. When you learn single words, you're more likely to translate word by word. When you learn a phrase or a chunk, you're more likely to remember it and avoid translation. So learn chunks and practice them. You don't have to speak out loud, just think them. Imagine you learn the word tram. Don't just learn tram. If you're learning a noun, try to learn or look up from a dictionary the verbs or adjectives that go with it. Example, tram, take the tram. Get on the tram, not get in. How do you know? Use a dictionary. You can also use the search in your electronic dictionary. The idea is, sit and think of phrases like I never take the tram. I need to get on the tram. I could go by tram. It's that simple. Same when you learn a verb. Learn the related nouns or adverbs and practice thinking with them. Notice and learn adjacency pairs. Adjacent means next to each other. An adjacency pair in conversation is a two-part exchange. The first speaker says something, and there's a response or a second utterance. That depends on the first and. These often come together. For example, when you say hello, the response is hello. That's a very simple adjacency pair. So when you're in conversations or watching movies, series, pay attention to adjacency pairs. Start noticing them, learning them, and again practice thinking them. Adjacency pairs are everywhere. The most common ones are greetings. Let me show you. How are you? Not too bad. How's it going? Fine. Hey. Hey. You have 2 utterances next to each other. Usually fairly fixed limited set of responses. and the most common responses are the most natural ways to speak or reply. Our conversations are full of these adjacency pairs in many situations. For example, invitation, do you want to come to my party? I'd love to. Requesting and giving information, has Mary arrived yet? I don't think so. Giving orders maybe with your boss, this needs doing right now. Okay, I'll get on to it. There are many types. Once you start noticing them in conversations, you can pick them up and learn them, and this helps you think in English. They're very useful, especially for beginner levels. But as your level increases, you'll need to be more flexible and learn different alternatives. And you'll notice them more the more you listen to conversations. Learn and use collocations. Collocations are 2 or 3 words that often go together. Example, we talk about black tea. It could be green tea or black tea. We don't say red tea. Chinese have this and sometimes call it that. But in English, it's black tea. Also tea leaves, tea bag. We say a cup of tea, drink tea, or slurp tea. So, while you're learning words or verbs, or while watching or doing things, you can think of these collocations. Use a monolingual dictionary English more than a bilingual one. Monolingual means English to English. I know you're thinking, he's using a paper dictionary. How nice. Yes, and why not? But I'm also a bit tech savvy. I have the Merriam-Webster app here too, which is excellent. Remember the word tram we looked up earlier? It gives you the definition, different usages, and example sentences. Take the tram to the departure terminal. Merriam-Webster is a good online dictionary. You can visit and check it out. Make 90% of your notes in English. When taking notes on new vocabulary or language you're learning, 90% should be in English. You can sometimes use translation, and that's fine. But the more you can write definitions and examples in English, the more you help yourself think in English. Great! I hope you're enjoying the video so far and learning a lot. In a bit, I'll tell you all the different ways we think and how you can think in English. Part 2, different ways of thinking and how to think in English. Now, in this second part of the video, I'll talk about different thinking styles, how we actually think, and how this can help you think in English. Different thinking styles. There are probably 2 main types. What we call idle or lazy thinking, that's where the voice in your head talks everything that passes through your mind. It usually sounds something like, it's cold. It's raining again. What will I have for dinner? Why did we paint that wall blue? Thoughts fly everywhere, and it's hard to control this voice in your head. The second type is reflective thinking, where you make a conscious decision or plan how to do something. It might look like, I need to plan tomorrow's lesson. What topic can I present? Transport. Yeah, no, I've done that already. Okay, focus. It's more organized and probably has a specific goal. Within these 2 categories, thinking styles, there are many different activities we do. Let's look at them and see how you can do the same thinking in English, regardless of your level, forming opinions and expressing them in your mind. When native English speakers think, or when you think in your mother tongue, you don't usually think, this is a tree, this is a book, this is a cup, though that can be useful for beginners. And indeed, as a beginner, you can build on it and say, this is a big tree. This is a blue book. This is a new cup. And that might be helpful. But in reality, when we think in English, we usually have an opinion about something. So it actually looks more like, wow, that's ugly. I hate this color. What kind of car is that? I should know this. My brother would know. We form opinions about things we see, and we're often critical of others and ourselves. So, one of the first things you can do is form opinions when you think and see things. Talking to ourselves and telling ourselves what to do. It's like a dialogue, but with yourself. You say, come on, you can do this. Let's go. So you might find a situation like this. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's so cold. Wait, it's Tuesday. I have a lot to do today. Come on, wake up. We can do this. Can we? Just 2 more minutes. This might sound familiar to you. So, whenever you talk to yourself and tell yourself to do things, you can do it in English. Think in English. Even first thing in the morning, forming ideas and expressing them in your head. This often looks like this. I think I'll go to the mall. That'll be nice. I can get coffee and lunch too. I'd love to go to New York. Why don't I book a flight? No, I can't afford it. Maybe next year. So, ideas that come to your mind when you think in English, you can use chunks like, I think I will do this. I'd love to do this. Why don't I do this? And instead of speaking out loud, you just think. So, whenever an idea comes to mind, think in English, identifying problems and finding solutions. We often have a lot of negative self-talk, that voice in your head telling you, this is a problem, that's a problem. Oh no, this won't work. This isn't good. Why do you always do that? We complain while simultaneously thinking to find solutions. What I need to do is this. I'll do that. I can do that. I should do that. Okay, I'll do this. So, a simple practice is to take this language and start thinking. Identify some problems in your life. Think about them in English. And think about solutions. Your goal isn't to solve the problem. Your goal is to practice thinking in English. Think about problems like cost of living, study pressure, work stress, your health. I think there are plenty of problems you can think about. Think about them in short English phrases and look for solutions. Planning, making decisions, and sometimes regretting what we did. When planning and making decisions, you might think, I'll do this. I'll do that. Why don't I try that? I might try this, okay? Yes, let's do it. Then maybe you regret your action and say, oh, I should have done that. Why did I do that? What was I thinking? I shouldn't have done that. I ought not to have done that. The great thing about thinking is that the pronunciation in your head is easier than with your mouth. So when you plan, make decisions, or regret, you can think about it in English using these simple phrases. I think the point is all this language, whether you're speaking or thinking, is the same language. It's just about getting used to thinking. Every time you do these activities, whether it's planning, forming an opinion, or identifying problems and solutions, do it by thinking in English. Part 3, bonus, how to build the habit of thinking in English. Great. Now you know how to tackle the translation habit. And you know the different ways of thinking and the activities we often do when thinking that you can start practicing in English. Let's finish with the bonus. Some tips on how to build the habit of thinking in English. Thinking in English is really just a skill you practice. The more you practice, the better you get. It's like speaking English. There's no secret, it's just practice. So I suggest you start with just 1 minute in the morning at breakfast time. When you're thinking about, well, it's a good time because you're probably planning the day. You have some ideas, maybe a problem practice, and start thinking in English for just 1 minute. The key is to start small and build from there. So you can do 1 minute, the next day 1.5 minutes, then 2 days, and so on, building over the days. My advice, same time, same place every day, and build the habit. Popular literature says it takes 21 days to build a habit, but deeper research says it takes about 67 days to build that habit. But hey, that's fine, you have many days ahead, so you can do it. Just keep going, step by step. I know what often stops students is vocabulary. They think and then don't know the word. That's okay, just think in English. And for words you don't know, use your native language for now, then look them up later in the dictionary. Also, use simple words when you think. Focus on practicing the skill of thinking, not on building vocabulary or using complex grammar. This isn't the time for that. Thinking in English is a keep it simple time. Build your thinking fluency slowly. It's also helpful to create an English environment. This will make you more likely to think in English. English environments are hard, but you can create many English moments. 15 minutes reading a book, 20 minutes with a podcast, 30 minutes with a series on Netflix. You can just have these English moments that will help you think in English. Finally, you can use a prop, something that might help you feel more English. Maybe a hat, maybe glasses, maybe a cup of tea. Whatever helps you, like an actor. It's a prop you use to get into character, to be your English persona. Use that when you think in English. Whatever works for you. That's it. I hope all these ideas help you on your journey to thinking in English. If you liked this video, please subscribe and turn on notifications to know more about upcoming videos. Wishing you the best of luck. And I'll see you very soon in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, my friend. Goodbye.